All right, g'day. Just let a couple more people jump in. Welcome. Going to go live, have a look through a few bits and pieces and the news. I want to cover the news that's been going on the last sort of week or so. Of course, it's been a pretty wild week in all markets, really. Well, in the eyes of the street, there's been a lot of stuff going on, a lot of people talking about this Wall Street bets and their pumping of certain projects and whatnot. So I want to look at that, give some words of caution, and of course, XRP's just sort of had a ripping run right now, and how one could, rather than going and buying a heap of XRP, there's other ways that one could go about taking advantage of what's just happened and what potentially could continue to happen. It's a little bit wild and weird and crazy out there, but this is like, I mean, how strange was 2020, right? And again, here we face the start of 2021 being equally as bizarre, with the people turning up and saying, "Hey, you, boop," hedge funds. Let's mess with them. Now, I'm not against that because it's meant to be a free market, right? It's meant to be a free market, and a free market is where anyone can do whatever they want. But it kind of seems like people have been going, well, you should invest if you want to make money, and they're kind of like, but not like that. There's nothing illegal about it. These are, I guess, thousands of people that are going into these things. GameStop being the first of those. Doge then having a big pump. What's Doge doing now? And XRP, the one that's going at the moment. Let's have a look at what Doge is doing. Where are you, Doge? There. Because it just shot off and sort of went Burko for a bit, didn't it? I mean, I was there watching going, what the heck? I mean, that, Doge went from what? What was the percentage move on that? Like 10x. Pretty wild. Pretty damn bloody wild. And, that's the world that we live in. And, you might want to take advantage of that. You might, or maybe not take advantage. You've got to remember with pumps, there's often a dump. And I know the whole war cry is buy and hold. But you've got to remember that there will be profit taking. It's kind of wise to do that. Just because someone's saying buy and hold doesn't mean that they will. There's also a lot of people getting in well before you find the information out. So just be very careful with what you do and how you do it. But certainly it's shaking up a lot of people around the world, a lot of big funds, and lining the pockets of a few people as well. So again, just exercise with extreme caution if you are going to play that dangerous game. Okay, what's on my thought? Okay, Thomas. Hello, Hillary, Warren, Tim, Stan, Rob, Turns. Okay, so question. I watch your videos quite often. Cool, thank you. I just wondered what your thoughts are on GME moving into Monday. What do you expect? I don't expect anything. I really haven't been following that at all. I don't really, I don't trade traditional markets anymore. It's crypto where I make my beans. And, look, I don't know what it'll do. The thing with, and there's also the silver squeeze that people are trying to get on now as well. Now, a couple of things with silver. Let's look at silver's market cap. Silver market cap. All right. 1.4 trillion. So just to give you a bit of an understanding about the difficulty in pumping things that have massive liquidity already. It's a hard thing to do. 1.42 trillion. Our crypto market is currently sitting bang on, or roughly right around 1 trillion right now. As you can see, 999 billion when I started, and there you go, 999 billion. So a bee's dick shy of a trillion. Whereas silver is already, much larger than the entire crypto market right now. So I did put some things out. I was like, I think they're going to find it hard with silver. It's pretty tough to move a market that's so established and so huge. But when you look at things like Doge, much easier. When you look at things like XRP, much easier, clearly. And these are unregulated in the sense that these are not markets that the SEC and, the boys club or the billionaires club can come and sort of shut down in a certain way, like Robinhood did, and they're suffering a huge blowback on this at the moment. Free market, not so free. They are there as a broker. Let's get that straight. They're a platform to facilitate deals. That's what they do. They'll often say, oh, it's not financial advice, and it shouldn't be, and it isn't. But what they have done is they're basically trying to force financial advice on people for not being able to buy into this to pump it any further. Now, what's that doing? It's just stunting the market. If the free market decides it wants to push something higher, that's how markets work. What's happening now is the internet is coming together through the likes of Reddit and whatnot and saying, hey, if we all get together, we can make stuff move. And yes, there are going to be extraordinary winners, and there is going to be people that lost a lot. If you look at a push up here, that's people would have lost if they're buying here. Ooh, they've lost significantly at this stage. As Will has just pointed out, Robinhood is owned by a hedge fund. Well, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all, and it doesn't surprise me that they will be shut down. This is good for crypto. This is good for Bitcoin because it's not really shut down. You know what I mean? Like it's not. The only thing that can be shut down would be the exchanges. But again, I think that would be difficult on a large level across all platforms. So anyway, it's still unfolding. There's still a huge amount that's going to come of this. Whether it be XRP goes and does something magnificent, it's already moved quite a bit. Whether DOGE goes and does something even further, whether GameStop continues, these are all questions that the world is looking at right now. And what I do fear is that people are after that quick buck. It does definitely have that feel of those pump and dump groups back in 2017. I'm not all for a pump and dump group, but I see this as being different when it's a movement. Again, I'm still learning about it. I haven't really, followed into it or done anything around it. It's really, 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 really interesting though, because the power of the people is coming back, and I do like that. If for no other reason, it's getting people that would not normally invest, trade, or be involved in these markets. It's getting them involved, and it's showing them the potential of what investing can do. And for that, I think it opens the door for financial freedom or financial literacy increasing. And I think that's a very, very important thing. It's something that I'm very passionate about, obviously. Why would I be here if I wasn't? So let's go ahead and have a look at a couple of things. I'm not just going to focus this whole thing on the GameStop, the silver short squeezes, and XRP, Doge, yada yada. What I am going to do though is I'm going to have a look at some of the things that have gone on this week, because there's been a big week in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole, not just these pumps that are going on. So this is a very interesting headline that I saw. Now Ari Paul is a big dog, right? Bitcoin, people aren't going into Bitcoin to get rich, they're getting in to stay rich. I find that to be a very, very interesting headline, and this is the passage of text that I really, really liked. We've been talking with a lot of billionaires in the financial world. It's such an interesting shift in mindset. They are now thinking defensively. Excellent. They're thinking enough of their billionaire buddies have 10% of the net wealth in Bitcoin. If they don't, they're thinking, man, if Bitcoin does another 20x, I'm not invited to the parties anymore. I'm not in that rich club, and wherever they are in that hierarchy. So now they're thinking, I need a passive allocation. I need 10% of my net worth in this to just keep up, just in case. It's not about getting rich. It's about staying rich. It's about staying in those groups. It's the latest hot potato. Well, it was a hot potato in 2017. No one wanted to hold the hot potato. The hot potato is now mashed potato with butter and milk, and a nice bit of pink salt in there, and maybe even some chives. Like, it's getting real, real tasty. And they're starting to get a hold of it. And we're seeing that through a lot of it. A lot of different, big companies are buying into it. Goldman Sachs is coming out with a product. We've got JP also tickling on that. Deutsche Bank. There are so many big businesses, multi-billion-dollar businesses coming in to the environment that is Bitcoin. And I can see a very long-term future for this market. And it could, if you think about the pump on Doge, the money made on GameStop, if people are concerned about their profits, get them out and put them into a market where you hold your Bitcoin on your ledger and it's all yours. Free market, up to you to do what you will. So I think it's a really positive thing. It's a powerful thing. And, with all these funds coming in, again, it's just another tick in the box for that global dominance of Bitcoin and more people getting involved. Okay, I never knew it would work so easy. I'm so grateful and I appreciate it. Thanks so much for your good words. No dramas. If there's scammers in there, they're back again. Excellent stuff. Luke will get in there and chop them down. He's got a big axe. Okay, get rid of them, Lukey. So yeah, again, what we're seeing as well is massive volumes coming into the market. Look at Uniswap, for example. I think we did 30 billion volume in January. That is mega money. We are seeing volumes increase. We're seeing a lot more of the Bitcoin coming off of exchanges and sitting on, in storage and whatnot. Again, this is scarcity of Bitcoin. It means, again, less and less Bitcoin available, but more and more people really considering getting into Bitcoin. And I see that as a very, very strong thing. Those are very strong hand buyers. These are people who are looking to buy more on dips. These are people who are not going to sell with the change in trend. The volatility is not going away. You can't have raging bull runs and take your 10x higher without volatility. Absolutely, and that's what we like as traders. So that was the first bit of news there. Again, very positive stuff coming out for Bitcoin from top brass. Again, very, very powerful stuff. We're talking about gold in this particular one, and that gold investors need to be in Bitcoin. It's a subject that I covered a little while back, where we had, obviously we got Peter Schiff who's doing his thing, but we spoke about gold investors, and we're seeing, think about 2020, obviously, the absolute mayhem that 2020 caused with COVID and businesses shutting down, and all of these Armageddon type things, quantitative easing increasing, and again, recently having increased further, 1.3 trillion, was it? There's a lot that should be falling into gold's basket, but it's not. Gold is holding sideways. It's just not really working the way it's meant to. Sure, it's not really going down in value, but it's not increasing either. And a store of value gold is. Yeah, it is a store of value. But so is Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is increasing in its value, whereas gold is not. And this is where the gold bugs, I believe, I agree with this article, or the thesis of this article. I believe that the gold people will need to be having some form of exposure to Bitcoin, even if it's just 10%. If you've got $10 million in gold, you probably have $1 million in Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin million will probably outperform the $10 million of gold, but you might be a little bit nervous about Bitcoin. And this also leads back to the other article about big institutions and whatnot, and the billionaires needing to have some exposure to it. So it's, again, a very positive step in the right direction. This little quote here, this was interesting to me. Looking forward, in a world going digital, I see Bitcoin is adding competition to gold, but I see Bitcoin should actually be in the same bucket, because if you're holding only gold, I feel it's a little bit naked without Bitcoin. And could you just take yourself back 2 or 3 years? There was no way that conversation would have been given any airtime at all. Wild changes. I think I read, was it Ray Dalio or Mark Cuban? One of those two guys was saying that, it was on CNBC or one of those sorts of channels. They were interviewed. Are you selling Bitcoin? He said, no, I'm buying more. He said, why would I be selling into an old currency when there's a new one coming to the forefront right now? The old currency is obviously fiat, which doesn't really represent the value of what the internet generation and age really wants to be, which is our own, our freedom, and going up, creating wealth. 1% of the world 1% of the wealth is held by 99% of the world is owned by 1% of the world, right? So that's the wealth side of things. What we're seeing now is we're seeing the frustration of my generation, your generation, and many generations going, well, geez, if my dad's at a billionaire hedge fund manager, if I can't walk in and start a bit, there's a lot of people that are getting frustrated, and this is an opportunity for them right now. So it's really, as Tim's just said, that it's a huge amount of positivity coming into the space once again, and each and every day we're seeing more attitudes. They are changing, but a lot also have changed. So very, very, very cool to see more good news. So when people say Bitcoin volatility is high, yeah, sure, it's only been around 10 years. I mean, gold's been around since the beginning of time, and Bitcoin annual volatility is around 50 right now. So we're seeing a lot of positive, again, very, very positive. Now, Elon Musk last week put hashtag Bitcoin on his YouTube, and what happened to price? This is what happened to price. Price did this. It shot up about $5,000. If we have a look at the chart right here, you can see that was when it came out. Boom! Up we went, and it's pulled back since. Very messy chart on Bitcoin right now. It's not a tradable market for me. It's yuck. Very, very, very messy indeed. But again, it just shows, arguably the most intelligent man on the planet right now, one of, if not the most intelligent, and the wealthiest guy on the planet is saying Bitcoin, yeah, we're cool. And I believe he's going to be going live shortly, doing something somewhere, talking about whatever he talks about, and I'm sure Bitcoin will come up in it. We've seen when he's tweeted about DOGE, it's gone through the roof, and just the actual fact that somebody who is going to send us to space, right, who's got a rocket to go up, drop its payload or whatever, and come back and land on the pad. The same person created the world's most valuable automaker, electric cars. The guy just gets things right. How many more people are going to ignore him with his work towards Bitcoin? I just think it's again another massive step in the right direction. How many more people can ignore it? Now, Reddit co-founder did the same thing. They put hashtag Bitcoin up there. Obviously, now we've got Elon Musk, we've got Jack Dorsey, we've got a bunch of big billionaires out there saying good things about it, and we've got Reddit's co-founder. Now, this is poignant because right now Reddit is people that had never even heard of Reddit are now going, So more eyes are being thrown onto Reddit, and more eyes are being thrown onto the Reddit founders' Twitter account, and those eyes are going to see, again, hashtag Bitcoin. Hashtag Bitcoin on Twitter, the founder of Twitter. Hashtag Bitcoin on the Reddit. Hashtag Bitcoin on Elon Musk. How much longer are people going to ignore it? I don't think that they can. I don't think that anybody should. I don't think they can. I think the dinosaurs will disappear. One of the fun things that I saw when I did that the Sky News a little while back last year, and we did the live little, it's only about a few minute piece, but the comments underneath that, and Sky News is typically a lot of boomers. There's a lot of boomers that are on there. I only say that because I saw the comments. And still, so many are fighting the legitimacy of Bitcoin. One person even said, but there's an infinite amount of Bitcoin because you can just add more decimal points. It's like, wow. Very smart you are. So, yeah, really, really crazy. By the way, if anyone's looking at these comments here and you're saying anything about, me sending you Bitcoin, I'm not going to send you any Bitcoin. I'm not going to send you anything. All right? So just, I know you're smart enough, but just in case, I don't want anyone getting hurt or losing any money due to me trying to help people out. So here you go, on to Elon Musk now. Shot it straight up. Elon Musk, Wall Street Bets, GameStop, Bitcoin. Think of it this way. People that have made money on GameStop might move into Bitcoin. People that made money on Doge might move into Bitcoin. People that made money on XRP might move into Bitcoin. Either way, it's bringing people into this space, and it's very, very good. I can't believe this week, hey. It's just, the week has been just absolutely jam-packed. Absolutely jam-packed. What it blows my mind. It makes me think, what's coming next? What is coming next? Because, look at this. Now back in cryptocurrency market, many saw an alternative for all of the above, decentralized, yada, yada. Okay, WBS chairman asked if Dogecoin has ever been at $1. Then it went up a lot, 10 times. Now, 10 times is mega, mega, mega. All right, mega. If I could get a 10x in that period of time, I'd be super duper pumped. I haven't. Not in that time. Again, you can see more. We're talking about here the losses of those hedge funds. I think there was at one stage $11.4 billion of shorts opened up on GameStop. Of course, they want to drive that back down, but just lose. You failed. You lost. Done deal. Move on. What we are seeing across social media is a movement now. What I didn't like about the GameStop saga and the whole Reddit situation and whatnot, what really frustrated me was the billionaire funds and whatnot trying to shut it down. That, to me, it's just disgusting. I saw one from what's the bloke who has Barstool Sports, very sweary analysis of it, but geez, he was bang on the money. It's like, why are you able to take away the right for people to go into whatever they want just because a few people are losing money? You see all the old timers ranting and raving about how bad it is, and it fills me with anger, because you can't win all the time. They expect to win all the time, and fair dues. They've done their time. They're probably good at what they do. What we're seeing now is, instead of 6 or 7 big funds getting together and doing little flashing lights and little signals and tying their shoelaces a certain way for what stock to buy when, called insider trading. What we're seeing now is we're seeing the public getting together and doing exactly what Wall Street's been doing for a long time, and they're getting the shits with it. And that does make me happy. I don't want to see anyone hurt, I don't want to see anyone's funds wiped out, but I do like to see the power of the people coming together and showing people, you know, what is available there. Bitcoin's price could top at 300,000 if history repeats. According to recent analysis of Bitcoin is to repeat what it did back in time, this might be the beginning of a cycle to take its price at 300,000. And if that were to be the case, I would be one happy little Vegemite. Hang on, let me just, Luke, please kill scammers. Yep, there we go. He's on it. Okay. So that's that one. I wanted to come back now and just have a quick look. I'll do a little refresh, see if we've hit a trillion. We're there! Woohoo! Now this little joke up here. I don't know what that's all about, to be honest. But anyway, it is there. Goodbye. You can see Bitcoin 626 billion market cap. Now keep one thing in mind, and I want you to remember this: the top 10 typically have about 90% or more of the entire market cap, and you can see that, you know, just by doing some simple maths running through here, you know, multiple billions there, which lead us to getting an actual statistic or an actual number. We're going to see big moves across the whole board. I think we are seeing free. Yes, I got free courses. I don't do free airdrops. We're going to see the whole market we have seen the whole market moving very, very strongly together. Hence why we're now at a trillion. I'm really interested to see what Bitcoin does next, because it has been in a period of consolidation for quite some time, while many others have been running away. Now, just to give my analysis on Bitcoin, I want to show you the chart right now. Of course, as I've just gone through, lots and lots of positive news coming out for Bitcoin from all walks of life, from everywhere and all over. The silver squeeze, I know they've moved it, but I'll tell you one thing: $1.4 trillion market, going to be very, very hard to maintain that. It's just going to take so much to move that. I think they're better focused on this market like XRP, like they've done. If you look here, higher low, higher high, that's a bit shabby because of the Elon Musk thing. It's just pointed it up. So I shot it up as we saw before. It's the weekly that I'm looking at here, and if it wasn't for the fact that that spike had occurred, we'd have somewhat of a smallish candle. We've had 3 weeks of pulling back into that cradle zone, which is the area for which I love to have. And just as a reminder, you know, I was carrying on quite a bit back here. I want to give you some perspective again. I did a piece, I think last week or whenever it was, about perspective. You know, when we were back down here testing 10,000, we got a perfect little cradle candle right there. Now, if you don't think Bitcoin can move further, don't think, just trade what you see, because here's what happened. We did get a very strong run over a period of about 2 or 3 months, running into Christmas, the culmination of which it did start to come off. It was early January, I think we sort of started to see it come back a bit. And here we are. This is weekly, by the way. So what was that? That was, yeah, the second week of January, we started to see it come back a little bit. It seems to have steadied itself now. Have a look at this on the daily. You know, it's steady, higher low coming in. Although there's no real strong trend there, and again, I would want to emphasize the messiness that I'm seeing on this 4-hour chart. It's not a chart that's exciting to me at the moment, but there are some really nice charts out there with really, really nice trends. Sounds smarter in this day and age, doesn't it? I mean, people are getting a bit smarter and not be fooled as easily anymore. I'd hope so. But you got to remember that people that are coming into the space are still going to make mistakes, so we've got to always remind them of the scammers. If it sounds too good to be true, it often is. But people instead of against them, so they don't lose. It doesn't matter if they like it or not. They will eventually like it better if they were. Well, that's right. Market forces, and that's what I always say and do with my trading. I don't think you'll ever beat the market. It's not about beating the market. It's about the market being like a dance companion. If you've seen people dance on the dance floor and they're off beat, they're off rhythm, they look like idiots because it's just dumb. It just looks crap. But you find 2 people that have practiced, learn how to dance, and they look pretty good, right? So again, it's about joining the momentum. That's why I'm a trend follower. That's all I do. I do not try and go against trends. I trade with the trend. Even if you want to trade against trends, you've still got to know what a trend is first. So the trend at the moment is, obviously I would look at my charts for trends, but the trend at the moment is power to the people. And I like that. I think it's a really, really good thing. It's a positive thing moving forward. I just hope that it doesn't blow up in the faces of all of us in the sense that it becomes very, very public. And if they do succeed with silver, for example, the repercussions of that are quite severe, and I don't think that we'll have a very good time following on from that. Decentralized markets like cryptocurrency, decentralized finance or DeFi. These are all things that we're starting to see the trends come towards. And look, we are in the right place at the right time, crypto friends and Fanu. It's going to be a pretty killer year, I believe. If you come in here, I've only just started looking at all this Wall Street bet stuff. So let's just refresh that. You'll see there is an awful lot going on. And one of the things I want to say is this: don't FOMO, all right? Fear of missing out has cost a lot of people a lot of money, and it will do again this time, okay? Now, if you're a trader and you know how to trade, you can still do well through these moves. You've just got to be patient for it. Instead of going and buying $20,000 of XRP, wait for an entry. Let the trade do it. Use your margin trading, okay? And the link below, you'll find, discount off on FTX. You can trade there. There's things that you can do that diminish your risk to a certain extent because you can manage it. But don't forget, when you're going for something that is so hot or moving so fast as a pump coin with this Wall Street bets thing, there'll also be slippage. So you might not get filled where you wanted to on the way in and also on the way out. So always with this sort of thing, it is dangerous. It is high risk. So please be very careful with what you're doing, all right? Be very, very, very careful. I'm sticking to what I know. I know how to trade. I'm trading my trends. I'm moving my profits back into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum's still holding its ground quite nicely. It's not really gone too far down. If we focus back on our daily here, look, it's just consolidating again up here after a very strong run. We haven't seen a major pullback. Have a look here on the weekly and we'll compare it to Bitcoin. See how we've run up. We haven't run as far as what Bitcoin did. But look, we haven't come back too far. Look at Bitcoin on the other hand. 3 solid weeks of pulling back in. So again, focusing first on learning yourself, on working out how to find opportunities. Because one thing you might not realize, and I'm sure many of you do, is that each day there are tokens out there that will do a 10x or a couple of x. Might do 2x, 3x. Your lower market caps. What you want to be doing is learning how to pick those if you're an investor. A great example is Phantom Bitcoin. Have a look at this. This was a trade that I found on. I didn't get in. I'll tell you that. I did not get in this trade. This was a cradle back here, a couple of weeks back. All right. Now that little puppy right there, I didn't get in. I didn't like the chart structure. There's plenty of volume, and I'm obviously kicking myself because at one stage that was up 100x. That was one trade, and I know some of my members caught that. You can get these types of moves without having to follow a pump group. It's just good trading. Now, you're not going to get them all the time, but they are there, and you will get them. Okay? They are life-changing trades. They're there for those that know what they're looking for. I think, no, I won't say his name because I don't want any... I just won't do that. I know that this person's done extraordinarily well from it, and many others have as well. If you don't know how to trade, get yourself across to tradercobb.com. You start the free course and just see if you like it. Get your head around it. There's 4 hours there, absolutely free for you. And that's what I really recommend people do, is they learn a skill. Because you know what? Otherwise, you've got to be constantly on Twitter, constantly chasing after other people to get things that can help you to make a sustainable living long term, not just on these pump and dump type things. Okay, so guys, positive stuff for Bitcoin. Market's looking strong. Be careful on XRP, Doge, silver, all this sort of stuff. And that is my little wrap on what's been going on for the last week or so. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. Hit the like button. Hit your subscribe to the YouTube. And also, if you don't mind, turn on those notifications so you are notified when I go live. XRP, kicking a bit higher. Have a great day. Very interesting.